correspondent Andy Hughes with the exclusive.
Call and WhatsApp message now. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Tom Swarbrick on LBC.
Very good afternoon to you. This hour...
Hello! What? No, I'm having a drink by the river!
The government is going to be spending £600 million a year paying some or all of various companies' electricity bills. The British Industrial Competitiveness Scheme is designed to stop what they call, at least I think they call, carbon leakage, which sounds like you should go and see the doctor about. That's when an energy-intensive industry moves out of the UK because energy costs are cheaper elsewhere. The scheme then helps to lower the industrial electricity price gap between the UK and other European countries in particular, helping those companies remain competitive globally. Think steel plants, think recycling, think nuclear fuel processing. 10,000 businesses all in are going to benefit from this scheme, but not some of the telecoms companies, and now they want it. Mobile phone operators have warned the government that they may be forced to ration phone signal and data speeds to combat higher energy prices caused by the conflict in Iran. Those big companies left out of the British Industrial Competitiveness Scheme last week. The measures are expected to come into effect in April 2027. You'll know who these companies are. Vodafone 3, Virgin Media, O2, BT's EE warned that the nature of their sector being, quote, always on, meant that it was asymmetrically exposed to the crisis, that they were unable to shift their demand to off-peak times. It's not like you need less phone signal at a particular time of the day. So they want some support from you, I guess. Now, these are companies where profits are in the billions, tens of billions when added together. But they are also companies that use a lot of energy. They are also companies that have a presence in other countries where energy is an awful lot cheaper, and they support a lot of jobs here. So is this a threat you think the companies actually will be obliged to follow through on if they don't get that support? Is the government right to leave them out of this help, even though these are very energy-intensive industries? Should taxes be going to help them with their energy costs? They make a lot of money. They support a lot of jobs. They are the providers of phone signals for everybody across the country because there are three very, very big ones. But should your taxes be going to help them pay their energy bills? 600 million quid a year and possibly rising. Is this the cost of being competitive? 0345 6060 973. Bearing in mind that everybody's looking, if you've got one, looking at your smart meter thinking how much, going to the petrol station thinking how much, and now this money is spent, yes, in industries where the energy costs are exorbitantly high and growing, and we need those industries, think steel, for example, critically important to national infrastructure. I would have thought mobile phone signal is also massively important to national security, national infrastructure. So the threat to have that turned off or rationed or downgraded because the electricity bill isn't in part being funded by you, is that a threat that we should take seriously and do something about? 03456060973. Lord John Fuller joins us, Conservative peer and chairman of Nitrosol Fertilisers, a fertiliser producer in Norfolk. Thank you very much indeed for coming on, John. You will know what rising costs at this time of uncertainty in the Middle East look like, given you're a fertiliser producer. I wonder what you make of the demand from these telecoms firms.
Yeah, well, fertiliser prices have doubled in just 6 weeks. But I think the mobile phone companies, we must recognise, and I think they made a very good case, they're an essential part of a modern economy. The mobile network isn't just for Instagram, Facebook and TikTok. They help us authenticate ourselves with passkeys, so we're less vulnerable to bank fraud, for example. We can pay for journeys. It's just an essential part of the way of life. So I think the point is that they are an essential part of the economy. But we're having this debate because overall, energy prices are just simply too high. We've got the most expensive electricity in the world, and it's making us all poorer. Now, I can understand that the phone people, want a discount, but we wouldn't need a discount if government didn't keep adding levy after levy after levy. And this scheme, the one you referred to, the BICS scheme, is spread far too thinly to do any good. And the need is now, not in 12 months' time.
So, in your view, there are too many companies getting this support in the first place to make it worthwhile?
Look, let's look at all the levies that collectively, Tom, adding 25% to everybody's bill. There's a gas levy, a climate levy, a nuclear levy, a hydrogen levy. There's the ETS, the new CBAM levy, renewables levy, and there's a new one, new this month, the regulated asset base levy. Don't ask me what it is, but collectively...
Don't ask me what it is.
It's adding a quarter to your bill today, and we know there's another 20% to come. If we got rid of the levies, then we wouldn't need these rebates and everybody would be a lot richer.
Well, possibly, but also if we got rid of the levies, that doesn't mean that the government wouldn't continue with the policies that those levies are funding, so the money would have to come from somewhere, and that would be probably through taxation. And is it right to tax people who don't pay those bills?
Look, we are in an energy money go-round. The levies are charged, they're redistributed to some of Labour's lobbyists. You know, we're all paying these levies. If we went cold turkey and got rid of them all, we'd all have cheaper electricity, we'd be more competitive on a global nation basis, we'd all be richer, and more importantly, this nation would be open to new technologies like AI, which is running for the hills, and old technologies like steel.
But we wouldn't be able to fund, in theory, wouldn't be able to fund if we didn't have either the levies or the taxation to fund this stuff, the new infrastructure that is going to power the country through past 2030, past 2050 when it comes to renewables, or nuclear.
Well, we're in a market economy. The rest of the world manages quite nicely, thank you very much. We've just got ourselves in this spiral where the government gives a rebate to get round the levies, which they've put on, and we're getting tax and levy, tax and levy. It is now time this country competed on its own 2 feet in the world and became competitive and traded on the same basis as everybody else. Tom, you referred earlier to my experience in the fertiliser business.
Yes.
The government is just about to add a carbon levy on top of existing the cost of fertiliser that's just going to drive food price inflation even faster.
Why are
We've got to get off the
levy in?
roller coaster. I'm sorry, Tom, you have...
Sorry, why are they putting that in? What is that meant to do?
Well, it's meant to allow the fertiliser industry to compete on global markets, but we don't have a fertiliser industry in this country anymore anyway. It's just a tax that will do nothing to clean the atmosphere or make us more competitive. It's just another tax.
Is that to say then that you don't think these companies should be brought into the scheme to support them? They should just have the levies removed, or given that the levies aren't going to be removed, should these companies be put in this scheme anyway?
I think we've ended up, and this country has sleptwalked into a situation whereby the market has become so grossly distorted that we've lost touch of what's going on in the rest of the world. And the rest of the world doesn't owe us a living, and creating a high-cost walled garden around our economy is no way to be competitive or for other people to want to trade, or more importantly, invest in our country, invest in the new industries that will have new jobs and generate wealth in our islands.
Well, I put it to you, because a lot of people are saying it already on WhatsApp and what have you, that these are companies that have made a fortune. You know, the steel industry doesn't make a lot of money, is absolutely critical. The nuclear industry really needs to power some homes. These companies make an awful lot of money. They make tens of billions in profit. They don't need the help.
The steel industry is only not making money because energy costs in this country are so expensive. And at some stage, we've got to get to the root cause of the situation we find ourselves in this nation. The chemical industry is on its backside. We're not producing aniline. We're not producing some of the special chemicals that for ballistic protection. We're not producing ethylene, which is important for vaccines, and CO2 for protective atmospheres that keep our food from spoiling for longer. This is an industrial problem that is driven by high energy costs, and the government should stop blaming Donald Trump and start taking responsibility and start dialing back these levies rather than adding more.
John Fuller is a Conservative peer and chairman of Nitrosol Fertilisers, a fertiliser producer in Norfolk. Very grateful for your time, Lord Fuller. Thank you for coming on. I wonder what you make of this then. There are, as he says, 10,000 businesses who are going to benefit from this scheme, £600 million a year, paying for a part of their electricity bill, or in some cases all of their electricity bill, depending on how much energy they are using and what percentage of that energy is being used for their critical businesses. And the telecoms company, who use a lot of energy, enough to power 370,000 homes a year. That's just on the mobile networks. are saying, well, we want part of this too. We use a lot of electricity. We need it. Otherwise, we can't guarantee that the phone signal is going to be strong enough when you want it, because lots of people need it at lots of time in the day, and we've got to be always on. It sticks in the craw, obviously, for a taxpayer subsidy to go to businesses who are making tens of billions of pounds collectively, and when I'm not sure people feel there's a kind of corresponding level of help for their household bills. So what do we want done here? Because as Lord Fuller says, the rest of the world doesn't owe us a living. These companies don't need to be in Britain per se if conditions become poor to trade in. So they could just leave, and that's the job's gone. 03456060973. Come to your calls after this. Tom Swarbrick here, 4:15.
LBC.